So, Sunnyboy, let's start at the beginning. Tell
Sure.
the story about how you started and how old you were when you first got introduced to the music.
Sure. It all started, it all started in primary school, in the music and the school choir. I was always singing in the school choir, and I was lucky enough that I had good teachers who were so knowledgeable with music, who had more information of what was going on, who could read music. So I started there, and I never took it serious. It was just like a hobby.
That was in Piet Retief.
That was in Piet Retief, yes. Oh my God.
In KwaZulu-Natal.
Absolutely. Now, Piet Retief in Mpumalanga. KwaZulu-Natal, that is where I was born. I was born in Mpumalanga, and because of my parents' job, they had to move to Piet Retief, which is not far from Pongola, actually. It's like 1 hour, 30 minutes by driving. And so my schooling, everything started in Piet Retief. I started in primary school, I was singing in the choir, and then I went to secondary school, I was still in the choir. And then when I really got so much interested in music, really was when I started high school. It got more intense that my teachers, I had 2 teachers who were helping us to learn music, as we were doing a lot of competitions, competing with other schools from different provinces in South Africa. So them introducing us, I must mention some names. Pretty Yende was part of that, and
please tell. Yeah.
We all studied together, and it started there. And so when I entered the competition, there was these school competitions, and they were doing solos. I remember my first aria was Tradito Schernito from Così fan tutti. So I had to compete with that, and sadly, I did not win. I didn't get anything, but I did win my province. But nationally, I didn't get a chance. I got, I think, a 3rd prize or something, which was not a problem for me because it wasn't something that I was what I wanted to do at that time. All about fun.
But Sunnyboy, the opera, how did you get to love the opera? Was that also through the choir? Was that the music teacher?
Yes, he was well traveled, and he studied music, and so he knew what was going on in the music scene, because he would always go to Johannesburg or Cape Town, wherever he was traveling. He would always bring back some DVDs, and I remember the first I saw was he gave us Les Noces de Figaro, which Renee Fleming was doing that. That was the Kleinborn production, if I remember well. And La Clemenza di Tito, I think that was Salzburg. I'm not sure. Those are the 2 productions, DVDs that I saw, and I was so fascinated. And Così fan tutti, that was the Zurich production with Cecilia Bartoli as Fiordiligi. And Saka was the tenor at the time. So yeah, I got so much interested in a way that I fell in love with it, honestly, and singing, trying things out, because we used to learn by listening. I couldn't read, to be honest. I couldn't read music. I could only read Tony Soffa, Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, but the clef, all this was a nightmare. I was actually intrigued, and then I thought, why not? And I tried it. And when I finished school, I thought that was it for me, because I come from a very poor family. There was no way that I could go to university, because as a South African, it's very tough to get to a university if you're not financially stable. And so my parents are not that well off to take me to university. And so I decided, you know what, that's it. And I finished high school. I kind of forgot about music. I left everything. And then I started looking for jobs, because before I finished school, that's when my father died. And I had to become the father of my family, because my mom was alone. And it was tough, to be honest. But I didn't take that as I didn't take that as a negative thing. I took it as a lesson that I have to, like, you know, grow up and make some good decisions and try to help my mom, because she was a wonderful human being. My mother was so supportive in any kind of shape or form. And so I started to volunteer in the clinic, which I was pursuing to do nursing. And I remember that year when I started, it was in the middle of my 6th month doing this job. Pretty was on holiday. She came back from Cape Town because she got a scholarship to continue her studies in music in Cape Town at the University of Cape Town. And then she came back. I remember I was working at the reception at that time. And then she came like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "I am working," you know, because there was no way for me. And then she said, "Oh, please, let's take a walk. Do you mind?" And then, of course, I asked my colleague if they can look for my job, and I'll just take Pretty out. And of course, and then when you went outside, she was just like, "Please, I think this is not your place. You really need to know." And then I was just like,
is she the same age as you?
Yes.
Okay.
She's 1 year younger than me, I think.
Okay.
You know, she was really she was sent by God, because really my life was totally something else. You know, I was trying to get myself to become a nurse. And so doing the practical as a volunteer was the only way for me to get the government to fund me to go and do nursing. It's a long process. There were so many of us at that time who were doing that. And when she came, she really kind of like opened my eyes in a different way. And she's like, "Oh, you come to Cape Town, we'll make a way, just apply for the university." I said, "No, Pretty, there is no way. I don't have money to pay for the schooling. And, you know, I'm the breadwinner at home now, and I have to take care of my siblings and my mom." And she's like, "I know, but you know what? Something would come up. Just, your mom is strong, and she's been doing great. And just apply. You don't belong. You just really need to try it. Come to Cape Town, just apply. I will help you in any kind of shape or form you need me." I thought about it. The next day I said to her, okay, I called, I said, "Okay, I'll apply." And I applied, and my teacher at that time in high school was still there, very supportive. I had a very good support system with my friends. And I mean, we're in a small township, and everybody there's kind of like, they kind of know each other. And
what was your teacher's name?
There were 2 of them. It was Mr. Stole, Job Stole, and then and Kosimpile Mbambo. Both of them really, they were amazing. And I had amazing friends who, you know, that in South Africa we have this big culture of the choral music, and the always competitions. And so there were few teachers who were involved as singers in those choirs, because we used to go to Swaziland to do the Standard Bank competition. We do the Old Mutual and Telkom competition, and our teachers were kind of like singing in the adult choir. So we will always join them, because my teacher saw that we are talented, and why not bring us? And they were supporting us all the time financially, to travel with them. They make sure that we eat. And
that's amazing.
It's a very wonderful, Piet Retief is a wonderful community, small township, and everybody knows each other. And I thought my teachers, they were so supportive. Of course, my teacher in school, Stole, decided he will act as my guardian when I was applying at UCT, because I needed to put somebody as my guardian, because my mom couldn't. Okay. My mom didn't really qualify to be one, because she was not working. She didn't have a decent job, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Worker, and so there was no way I could put my mom. And my teacher was like, "Look, I would do it for you. No worries. Amazing. Don't worry." Of course, I applied, and I was, of course, University of Cape Town. They asked me to come and do the auditions. I thought, well, it's here now, and Pretty really made sure that I had accommodation. But then the funny thing is, the tricky one was when I had to travel to Cape Town from Piet Retief to Cape Town. Took a bus, Greyhound. I don't remember if you know. Remember?
I know the Greyhound bus. Yeah.
Tell you, the longest trip of my life I've ever done, day and
night.
I traveled with the Greyhound. Then I had to change in Johannesburg to a different Greyhound that goes straight to Cape Town.
Yeah.
I traveled almost like 20 or 21 hours.
Wow. Yeah.
I said to myself, okay, if I have to, I will do it. The biggest trip, first time traveling alone from Cape Town, not knowing anybody but Pretty Yende, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Of course, Cape Town, and she was waiting for me there. She found accommodation for me. Really, I was really in good hands. So I didn't really worry about that. And then my biggest worry was that if I go to the auditions, am I going to be approved or not? You know, that was my big, because I was not well experienced and I was not vocally talented as everybody else. I had a unique voice. I could sing, but I had no idea what was expected of me. And so I went for the audition, of course, in the morning. And I remember this audition was, everything went complicated at the last minute. I went to the general audition that everybody does. There were so many singers. And of course, I did very well. But then they did not approve of me because they thought I needed experience. And so I said to Pretty, listen, I have to go back home. Otherwise, I'm going to lose what I have already in Cape Town. If they are not taking me, what's the point? You know, Pretty never give up. She doesn't give up. She insisted. She said, she went, that girl, I remember she went to the office of the head of the department that year. She said, how is it possible that you're not taking him just because you need experience? I didn't have the experience. But, I mean, he can sing, but that is why he's here. He doesn't need experience. Because at that time, sing for Cape Town Opera, because there was a chorus for Cape Town Opera. At that time, it was called Cape App. I don't remember, something like this. And I said to Pretty, I am not going to stay here and go sing for the choir. I don't want to do that. I would rather go back home. And so, I went, I mean, they didn't take me. The school did not take me because they thought I was not well experienced enough to enter the school. I thought, okay, I'm going to go home. Pretty tried to fight. It didn't work. And then I decided to go to the flat where I was living, where she organized for me to stay. Went there, packed my stuff, thinking that the next morning I am traveling home. And that's it. Cape Town for me, it's done. And then Pretty, around 7 o'clock in the evening, she knocks at the door. She's like, I find another opportunity for you to sing for the director of the school. He wasn't there, iaYlgEevvCM&feature. I said, Pretty, you crazy. She said, yes, you have to sing for him. I managed to get to him and he replied to me and he says he's willing to listen to you, even though that day he was flying to Italy. iaYlgEevvCM&feature was flying to Italy. He just squeezed himself to come and listen to me and then left immediately. And so in the morning, I had to go and sing. I remember Cape Town Opera was doing Kozifan at that time. Pumes was that production. I remember very. And of course, I was nervous. Now I have to sing for this guy, this man who's in charge of the school, this iaYlgEevvCM&feature. I didn't know him, who he was. And of course, he was very nice. He's like, okay, sat in there, so let me hear. And I started singing. And then he went, very, very good. You need some work, of course, but beautiful voice and well sung. And I think you will. I will give you a space for you to study. I thought myself, what? He said, yeah. I said, I take you. I think you're good enough, and you need a good teacher that's going to help you to develop. And I think you will be a very good singer. And I thought, oh my God, of course, Pretty happy, and I was happy that she went that far for me, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And of course, I went home with lots of joy. And at the same time, I was so scared because I didn't know if I leave my mom, is she gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm very, very close to my mom. And then of course, the community in Piet Retief, when I went back and I told my teachers and everybody, let me tell you, everybody went out their way to help me.
Oh, that
And
is so wonderful.
yeah. They went out their way to help me, and I told them I'm going to Cape Town. Of course, they gave me clothes. They contributed money to be safe when I go to Cape Town, and Pretty fought a lot for me to get accommodation. And I went to Cape Town, and
Wow.
life started. I was just shy, and I had no idea what I put myself into. For me, it was a big achievement because in my family, only my aunt went to university on my father's side. On my mama's side, there were few people who were well educated who went to university, but on my father's side, it was kind of like breaking the cycle of me. University. My aunt went to nursing school and she was matron in King Edward Hospital. And of course, she was also a big influence and sort of like a person whom I look up to all the time because she was very supportive as well. I mean, she's married to a different family, but she stayed with us in the Dladla family, even though she was a Kulusi, but she stayed with us.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so life began really in Cape Town in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's when I started. And that year, Sidwell Hartman was also starting his professorship because he was also singing in Europe and he was based in Europe. That is when he kind of like moved back home, but he still had performances in Europe. And of course I had to sing for him because I was allocated to him. So he needed to hear how I sounded like. Of course I go to his room and we were all waiting outside, going to his room, trying to sing. And then I went in and I sang for him. I was scared and I couldn't even speak. Then I was very shy to actually. I sang for him. He said, well, you have a voice, but you need to start from the beginning. I mean, you have this, there's potential, but you still need to learn how to sing. At least that was it for me. I couldn't care less when I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
The most important thing was that he was willing to help me. That was really, I think I was taking everything that was coming my way then, because I knew that there's no other way. I had to learn to open myself up, allow people helping me. Yeah. And it took a lot to do that, to be honest, because coming from my culture and my family, especially my dad used to say, you cannot just go and expect people to give to you. You have to work for it. And so I had that thing. And so to open up to that level and trusting somebody I don't know and listening to what they tell me and trying to say thank you, because I was given everything there. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? What's going on? Yeah, basically started there. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. I have to let you ask me.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. But you also you also had a job alongside the studying.
Oh yes, when I came to Cape Town, because we had to apply for the financial assistant. That's the money that you have to pay back to the university. I got that money, but then also I think I must say I was really, really lucky to get good friends. I was surrounded by good people all the time. There was this girl who used to, few of my friends that I knew, they were working different jobs. I work at the library. That was the job that really was paying me well, the University of the library, work there after hours. And then I decided to continue because my flatmate that I lived with at that time, he was also doing jobs outside to just, afford life in Cape Town to buy whatever I wanted to buy in terms of clothes and all that, because I needed to, buy deodorant, all that. So, and then I decided to go and apply for a job at the Rustenburg pharmacy in Rondebosch. I remember everything. And there was lovely, lovely guy, Mr. Bloom, whom I would never forget until the day I die, really. He embraced me, gave me a job at the pharmacy, trusted me. We used to close the shop, close the pharmacy. We were the only ones who were closing late, around 12, 10 at night. Because it was really a busy pharmacy. And and then I also got another job at CNA in Waterfront. So
I know CNA, yeah.
I was working those 3 jobs actually, basically, and I was also a waiter for a good friend of ours, Ubuhle Mbonambi, who works. Who's there? He works for Woolworths. She does the food. Checks everything. She's kind of like the doctor of the food there in Woolworths. I say we used to call her the doctor of food for Woolworths.
Okay, yeah.
She used to employ us to do waiter for her company that was Nambita at that time. She used to cater for so many big functions, and she did so many big functions, and also for Woolworths functions. I remember I met the CEO for Woolworths with one of her jobs, and mingling around those people was like so inspiring. So we also used to sing afterwards for an extra, and they will give us like 2,000.
Really? Oh, wow.
I was just like the richest boy at school then, really, because I started focusing more doing outside jobs than focusing on getting jobs via music, getting jobs with my voice, because my teacher made it clear that you are nowhere near to sing to sing anywhere. You just need to start from scratch and learn how to sing. And so he also was an amazing, Sidwell Hartman was an amazing person who influenced me to really pursue the fact that I pursue other jobs rather than singing. And so, of course, it worked very well. I could afford everything I wanted, and I really lived a good life. But then I find myself overworking because I was not sleeping properly. I had to make sure that my academics are also good. I was working overnight. Sometimes I'll come back at home at 3 o'clock because of the work at the pharmacy. After work at the pharmacy, from 10 o'clock, I go and do waiter with the Nambita company. And the library, I was working different hours. Basically, when I'm done with my timetable, I'll see when I could fit. This was the good thing with the library. I could see when the timetable allows me to go and stay at school, because always at the pharmacy, I would always start at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening and close, and I'll be the one who's closing. Weekends, I was working at the library. When I finish at the library, I will start at 10 o'clock at the library until 2. And then I know at 2 o'clock, I have break until 3. At 4 o'clock, I started the pharmacy until 10. So, my day was packed. I had no... So life really, it kept me strong, it kept me grounded, because I was focusing I was allowing my voice to take the time that it needs to develop to where rather than stressing to sing and sing. Of course, I was frustrated sometimes, because all my colleagues I started with at that time, they were singing all big arias. They were singing everything they wanted. I was only singing Ariantique. I was singing a lead. And really, I find myself being the laughing stock when we did the opera aria. We had a class with Professor Kubato, called it opera workshop. So you have to sing and you explain Professor Kubato was tough, I must say that. He was the toughest one. Everybody was nervous when it comes to his classes, because you have to know word by word translation of what you're singing. You must know how to recite it, act it, what's the meaning, what's going on with the music. He was very intense. I find myself singing lead and everybody laughing at me. And it hurts sometimes, but then I got over it. I thought, well, maybe this is not my thing, but let me just finish the degree because I'm at university. I was just thankful that I was at the university. And so the plan was to finish the degree, but then, you know, having different environments, I think the fact that I was not so much with singers, I was doing the other jobs and I had friends outside music, that really kept me grounded to focus on what I wanted to achieve. And the other jobs were a distraction to not allow anybody to take away what I'm working on vocally. You know, it distracted me to look at who's singing the best, who's doing what. I knew who was doing that for sure, but I took it in a positive way that, well, my time will come when it's right. I think, yeah, those jobs were they were a way for me to just keep grounded and discipline myself and not look who's doing what and focus, distracting me from the music scene.
That's actually very interesting that you say that, but that's probably because that could also, that competition between artists can also sort of bring you a bit down if you feel you're not up there. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
No, honestly, I knew that, you know, the good thing about myself, I knew that I was not normal. My voice was not the typical voice that you will expect, that everybody was expecting, because I had a very light voice. I mean, if you listen to all my colleagues there, they all had big voices, operatic voices. I was just like a cat, really.
Basically. Oh, is it? Yeah.
I had the smallest voice, and I enjoyed singing corolaturos and all this, and it's different, and I was totally different than everybody in school, to be honest. I was just saying I was totally a different voice. That was a typical voice that everybody had, because the repertoire that was, I didn't know then what repertoire I wanted to pursue. I was just fighting for technique, for good singing. Yeah.
And so, so how did you go from there? Did you decide you wanted to stay? Or did you then, by that time, decide you want to be a singer, make it a career, or how did you get to that point where you?
That's a good question. I until my third year, that's when I started singing like nice arias. For instance, Don Fabio, Il mio tesoro, Dalla sua pace, something that was very interesting. I think as well, my teacher was so, I need to find the word, very, very strict.
Okay.
And sometimes he was so harsh and hard on me because he saw something that I didn't really see. You know, he saw potential. He kept on telling me that I'm gonna be a very good Rossini singer, bel canto. This you will fit very well only if you trust me. And so basically, really, I had a hard time with my teacher because I wasn't singing what everybody else was singing. This was a little bit of a Debbie Downer for me, that, you know, I'm the only one who's not doing this. He kept on saying, you have to wait until your time comes. You are not ready. When you're ready, you have to understand that you have to be in a state where when you open your mouth and sing, nobody can ignore you. When you, this is the state you need to go in for you, because you are a special case. I couldn't understand. And so he used to open a Bible. There was a Bible for all his students. He used to say, good come to those who wait. Don't remember that. Really, when he said that to me, I took it too hard because I didn't know what it meant then. You know, I was still confused. I had to let my guard down and let him lead me and allow him to teach me, because he used to say, when you allow or when you pray, always pray for me. Ask God that you want me to tell you the right things. I would do this because in that way, trust is so important right now in our situation, because there's nowhere you can go if you don't trust me. You have to fully trust me completely. I always pray that God give me the right things to say or guide me to the right direction to help him to achieve what he needs to achieve. And he should get what he deserves to get, because in that way, then we will have a very good relationship. So I started letting it go, and I believed, I trusted him. Of course, when I got the role of Basilio really, in my third year, was my first big role. You know, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna sing. I was excited. When I started the role, I started with so many coaches in the school at that time, and Lisa Engelbrecht was one of them. A very too, she was very strict, Italian. And of course, I learned the role with no time. I was ready. And when we started the production, I was ready to go on and sing. And then when the rehearsals came, Professor Kubacha knew already that I would be good at it, because acting class was my best. I mean, academics,
really? Yeah.
good. I could imitate everybody next to me.
Oh, okay.
So this role really taught me a lot, and that my third year really was the breaking point for me to say, okay, now I believe I can do this. I did this Leonardo di Figaro, Basilio and Cuzio. Was a huge success. I made people laugh. People like,
oh, really? Yeah.
You can even go and check it out on YouTube, the UCT, the Leonardo di Figaro.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
But it was laughing because, you know what, I thought to make people understand me, for people to get the character, I had to not listen to the voice. I had to bring the character out. And this, I tell you, was my weapon, because nobody focused on my horrible singing. They all focused on acting, and the ugly sound fit the character. And so it was a huge success. And I was shocked. Really, I was shocked that on this small role, the tiniest role can make people laugh, and I would be noticed, you know, because I never thought nobody would notice. No, some people would notice me, because it was the smallest role. You have all the other big roles but they did notice me. And then after, I remember when we had the premiere, it was a huge success, and people were laughing, and it was really beautiful. And that for me was like, oh my God, I want to do more, you know.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. That was the breaking point where I thought, maybe this is something I need to really check and see. Because I remember that, Professor Kubato even said to me, you know, Sunnyboy, it's very rare to find a singer, young singer like you can pull off this role, because this is a very complicated role. It can be very boring, and it can be, it doesn't mean anything if you don't make something out of it. And I tell you, if you focus and focus to this repertoire, you will make a big living with this repertoire. I thought, maybe he's right. Maybe he's art. Myself, if I sing this, I want to sing it everywhere. It went very well. And so that is really when I started to say, okay, now this is what I want to pursue. Then came my fourth year, where I had to do Don Ottavio, which was a very challenging role for me, because, you know, I did Premiere first. Premiere, which I did schools, was okay. But then Don Ottavio, when Don Ottavio came, I had to change everything that I did in Leonardo di Figaro. The voice was, of course, growing. And that year, things would, I mean, I was different. That was my last year as an undergrad. I did that role. It was a huge success as well. the singing was totally different. What made me, I surprised myself because nobody was expecting that I would do those roles, honestly. I remember Kamal conducted the Leonardo di Figaro, the Curcio I did, the Basilio I did, and Marcus de Sando was the director at that time of this production of Don Giovanni. And so when Professor Kubato gave them the list and they saw my name and everybody was in there sitting in the room, and Kamal was like, Sunnyboy's gonna sing Don Ottavio? You know, I was sitting with the best singers in the school. I mean, I don't want to mention names, but all the singers who were there, everybody knew that they will sing this with no problem. But the question was with me because the last time they saw me was with this character role. And not everybody was expecting that my voice will manage to sing this kind of heroic role, which is Don Ottavio. It's more present, it's more strong, it's not character. You can't make people laugh here, you need to be serious. And I was thin then, very thin. And so Kamal was like taken by surprise that, do you mind if I listen to you? And Kubato was like, he was sitting there in front of everybody. He says, if you want to listen to him, go and make him sing in a different room and then come back and tell me what you think. But I know for sure I didn't make a mistake. He will surprise you. And of course, I went to Kamal. I sang for him. Kamal was like, oh, your teacher is very good for you. It's working for you. I wasn't expecting this, you know, because my teacher was so strict that he never complimented me in anything good that I tried to do. He will never compliment you.
Really?
Never. He will say, well done, young man. And that's it. He said, I always went to him and say, what do you think, Prof? What do you think? He says, you know, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. You did very well. For you, good for you. There's nothing else I can say. I said, but can you talk about my technique? He will always say, just work hard. You don't want to hear anything from me because I don't want to disappoint you. You know, all the time. Then graduated my 4th year with Don Ottavio. Then I decided to do postgrad because I was so much into it. I was just like I wanted to fight for it. And I mean, I was still having these jobs. I was very busy. I remember when I did my first year as a postgraduate, I started getting calls after Don Ottavio. Started getting calls to do the Messiahs, all these Mes Petit Solennel, all these small oratorios. I remember my first one was with the Philharmonia Choir. Antoinette was the director at that time. She said, oh, I believe you can do it. I said, oh, no, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And then I did it. And then I got paid. I was like, what? Are you serious? And they were like, yes. I'm like, no, you're joking. They were like, yeah, this is what we can offer. I said, I was shocked. I was just like, I'm working 5 jobs and I'm getting this for 1 show. Basically, I was really pumped by the opportunity. Really, it started on my 3rd year towards my 4th year in postgrad. It started to really give my all.
But then, and in South Africa, because there's not many job opportunities for singers. I mean, it's only the Cape Town Opera, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get to Germany?
Well, that's a long story, but I'm gonna make it short.
Don't. Your stories are so interesting.
Yeah, when I did my postgraduate, I did my first production. I think my production that I did was Elisir d'Amore. I did Nemorino. And, I have really developed so much with my teacher, and I worked day and night. Let me tell you, day and night. I was working. I remember for me to memorize Nemorino, Lisa was the biggest. Lisa and Victor T-shirt, the late Victor T-shirt. Actually, Victor T-shirt has been there from the beginning of my studies. Everything I studied with him. I mean, everybody knew that he was the only one. But then I met, and Lisa was also working in the school at that time, but she really made sure that for iaYlgEevvCM, everybody has to be spot on when it comes to knowing the score. I started getting confident and I was more, I was into it. I was like working day and night, translate. I was just into it. When I did iaYlgEevVCM, was a huge success. I wasn't expecting anything from anybody, but you know what? I gave my heart. I just sang everything with everything that I had, because I knew this is the only opportunity that I can prove myself wrong and not look at anybody else who's doing what. And I learned to just focus on what Sunnyboy can do and not focusing on what everybody else is doing better than me. And so when I did that, it was a huge success. And I remember Bongantepe, who is the I think the director of the opera or playhouse orchestra in Durban.
Yeah.
He came to listen to us. He came to one of my performances of iaYlgEevVCM D'Amore at the premiere, I think, because that was the same year that Renee Fleming was doing the tour in South Africa. Little did I know that after that show, in that opening night, the next morning there was a masterclass that Renee Fleming was hosting in Johannesburg, and Bongantepe chose me. I was never expecting anything from the school because I was never expecting to be chosen.
Yeah.
Never expected that at all. I knew that there are people who are getting things, because I don't want to say too many political things, but I was not one of those lucky singers who
understand,
get to do the so when Bongantepe came to first of all, my teacher came to my room after the show. I was so emotional. Because that was when I felt like I was doing something for me. That's when I felt like I was proving myself wrong, and everything I worked for really was there. Everything was there. All of a sudden, my teacher for the first time in his life came to me to the dressing room. I was sitting down there. He came crying. He's like,
"Oh, wow.
You young man have made me proud. You are one and the only student I have, and I know that you will make it very far. You've done amazing night."
That's wonderful.
That was the first time I heard my beautiful things about singing. He's like, now it's the beginning. Now it's the beginning. I was so touched. After him, Bongantepe comes, "Young man, we want you to sing in the masterclass for Renee Fleming." I said, "Me? Shocked me?"
Yeah.
Yes. I was, oh my God, I don't know what to say. But the thing is, you have to fly tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. I just finished a premiere. It was like 12 o'clock at that time. I was like 12 o'clock at night. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And home, I was restless. I was excited to sing for Renee Fleming, but at the same time, I was tired. I was extremely tired. Of course, we fly to Joburg, sang in the masterclass. This lady, I tell you, she said so many nice things about all the singers who were singing were amazing. I always felt like I felt like I was the only one who was not good enough, because I never saw myself as that, good. And she really encouraged me. She was very nice, and getting all the things he was saying to me, I was even more influenced. I was even more pumped that, okay, that's it. I'm deciding. That's it. Went back to Cape Town at the masterclass. I had no idea what was going on. And then I get a call from Bong. I got told that I also have to sing with Renee Fleming in the City Hall in Cape Town. I was like, wait a minute, what? They were like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah.
I was I was lost of words, honestly. Of course, they came, we had to sing. Rehearsals went fantastic. Then the day of the performance, I tell you, I couldn't believe my eyes. The city hall was packed.
Mm.
I was standing to this amazing artist, an idol for so many of us, who's, I mean, still singing. And I was just like, how do I sing next to her? You know, I was shocked.
Mm. Yeah.
I tried, I put myself together. I was so excited and scared at the same time. I put myself together. The concert went well, but I went blind on stage, blank. I did not remember the
Really?
word. I was just like, what the heck? And I kept moving. I created my own words. I kept moving. And then my brain came back like, no, I mean, it was a genuine mistake, you know. I was not,
Yeah.
I did it, but I
Yeah.
made it through.
Mm.
Came back, I made it through. And she, after the show, of course, she said the most amazing words. She said to me, you know, Sunnyboy, you have the most special voice. I remember her own, in her words, that cuts through the orchestra.
Oh, wow.
You young man have you have a very great, you will have a very great future if you keep on working hard.
Mm.
It is easy. It's not going to be the easiest road. The singers live a very difficult life. It's a very, very difficult industry. But if you work hard and work, you will make it. I believe in you. These people in Lubeck, as I was telling you, they offered me, okay, I said to them, listen, I have nothing to do. If it's in summer, I am not working in summer, everything is closed.
Mm.
I can come to Germany, sing in the choir, I don't care.
Mm.
As long as I'm gonna experience. Of
Mm.
course they agreed. Little did I know that they liked me that much, that when I got to Germany, they liked me and my other colleague. There were two of us, we were both tenors.
Mm.
And they already planned for us to go and audition for the school in Lubeck.
Mm.
I couldn't speak German, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the school auditioned. The school was, they fell in love with both of us, with the other guy. And of course, they said, we cannot take you in the school, but you have to do this German course, because you have to have a certificate to get into the school, to study the German school, of course.
Yes. Mm. Yeah.
And so I thought, oh, wow. And then I did the festival. And then, of course, I did auditions, and they gave me small solos, you know, like small parts to say. I was just like, I was happy, really. I was treated like you know, I never got this treatment anywhere else.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, if this is what singers live like in Europe, I have to come back here.
But what
And
did
of course,
what did your mom say when you left?
my mom she was very happy. You know, she wanted me to be happy.
Oh,
she wanted me to do what I want
to do. Yeah.
You know, there are so many people in the family who said, oh, you're doing music. What are you going to do with music? How are you going to earn a living and all? Because music is not looked at as something that will bring an income to you. No. And I must say also, all my studies in Cape Town, because I started, I was academically well. I was doing very well academically. And of course, I met the Ackermans. They played a big role in my life. Really, they, Mrs. Ackerman. I mean, I have no words how to say thank you to everything they've done for me. The Wagner Society as well, the South African Wagner Society, which they employed me to do La Scala di Seta. You know, after all the incident with the other people, they were the people who believed in me. I did La Scala di Seta. I did Steuermann with them, which was a huge success. And they saw potential, and they really tried to help, to be honest. As I said to you, I think my entire life was just influenced by so many people, really kind human beings They just wanted the best for me. They didn't know me. They didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway because they just saw in me. And really, there's so much I can say about the Ackermans. I came to Germany. I was admitted in school. They paid for everything. My entire Europe. Mrs. Ackerman has been there. And then I said to her, I remember one day I was, I got the post. So many things happened at the same time.
Yeah.
When I did the Lübeck Festival, I met a soprano that was a soloist, and I was doing a tiny solo. And she started talking to me. Do you have somebody who's representing you? I'm like, representing me? No. What is this? A manager. I said, a manager? Oh, I'm supposed to have a manager. Yeah, because you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, your beautiful voice. You know, I was still in shock. Like, are these people deaf or what? And then, of course, she said to me, do you mind if I invite my manager to come and listen to you? Maybe there's something. I said to her, of course, I'm happy. Then it became, of course, listen to me in the school. And she fell in love with me. I said, listen, I don't mind. We can do anything together, but I need to finish my degree. I have somebody who's paid, because, you know, I'm a person who commits. Once I commit to something, I have to finish it. I never wanted to let Mrs. Ackerman down because they are spending so much money. You know, I thought the least I can do is to finish my degree to show them that I appreciate and I really admire what they do for me. I'm thankful for it. So I have to finish the degree, of course. And she was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about that. Of course, we'll make a plan for you and blah. And of course, she was starting to get me things. Then the next thing, I was doing Mozart Requiem with Eschenbach, Christopher Eschenbach in Washington, D.C. I tell you, that was my first biggest gig I've ever had in my life.
Really?
I was a student.
Yeah.
And I got to sing with this legend. I mean, I have the record till today. It's the moment is I'll treasure forever. And so when I got those opportunities, really, I got, it's all about the people that I was surrounding myself with. Mr. Beck and the Schleswig-Holstein Festival, which was run by Mr. Beck and the Rolf Beck and Christopher Jünke. Really, they've done so much for me. Got to school. Mrs. Ackerman barged in. You know, life continues. And then I got this management while I was still at school. And I told her this, and she's like, okay. And then the next thing she said to me, I have an audition for you in Zurich. I said, are you kidding? But I need to finish school. She said, yes, you finish school in Zurich though. But we need to do this program in Zurich. And I got the studio in Zurich because of my management. Was huge opportunity to be in Zurich, really. I learned a lot in a short period of time, really. It was like everything just piled itself together. I left Lübeck, which was the best place. Good people. I met good people there. The director at that time was amazing to me. I had a great teacher, iaYlgEevvCM&feature, who was amazing, so supportive. That guy would die for students till today. I know that for sure. Zurich, I met an amazing teacher as well in Zurich, Scott Ware, who was amazing, still amazing. Respect him till the day I die. Really, these people, Scott embraced me in Zurich and took me in, taught me a lot. He was my teacher who taught me how to be disciplined as a singer as well. I was already disciplined, but he put more discipline. And really, I cannot describe how many people who contributed who contributed in everything that I've achieved today. Sophie Delind, the director of Zurich then, she was very excited. She believed in me. She said so many good things. And really life started then in Zurich. I finished my degree, of course. I called Mrs. Ackerman. She came she was visiting. She visits Switzerland a lot.
Oh, wow. That's amazing that she
Yeah.
came.
Yeah,
Yeah.
called me. She said, come to the hotel. I need to speak to you. We need to have dinner together. You know, everyone, whenever she travels, she makes sure she calls all the students in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Two of, and of course, I went there and I said, Mrs. Ackerman, I want to say thank you to you. How can I say thank you to you? That lady sat there and laughed. She says, oh, you want to buy me a private jet? I said, oh no, not a private jet. She said, no, seriously, Sunny boy. The only way you can thank me is when you have a contract with the BBC Proms or Carbon Garden or La Scala or Met, you call me. That's the way I will jump the next place to come and see you. That would be thank you to me. I said, what? I said, no, I need to buy you a gift. And she said, no, that would be my biggest gift.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Yeah.
Tell you it happened. Got a contract at BBC Proms.
Oh, really?
Yes. I sang it. I came 2 times to see me at the BBC Proms. I got, I mean, when I went to, I did a lot of auditions. I was rejected so many times that she was there. I remember when I did the tour of my auditions while I was still in Zurich, in London, I traveled London like a crazy person. And Ackerman was like, you don't need to get any place to stay. You can stay at my flat. And I thought, what? She accommodated me.
Oh, that is so lovely.
The whole week, because I was traveling everywhere. I stayed there the whole week, traveling, take a train, because I auditioned in different days for 5 days. I stayed there, and then, of course, I got the audition for the BBC Proms, and they took me. Mrs. Ackerman flew in to see me sing with Simon.
That's so wonderful.
Out of everybody, with Simon Rattle, and she always wanted that. And I was more than proud. And then the second time she came in to see me do the Mozart Requiem. I mean, you know, it's just like it's cool when I can, you know, make them happy, because they really gave me a second chance in life. All these people that I've met, I didn't mention, they've made me who I am today, and have achieved. I always say thank you to everybody who was around me, because I've achieved it because of their encouragement as well. I mean, I cannot say my mom was just the light, the center of everything, because if it wasn't for her being so strong and trusting the process, everything was just possible. It was possible. Yeah. I think because I'm also a person who's very negative. Don't get me wrong. I have my moments where I'm a human being, you know, where I feel low when I feel, and I have people that I talk to. Sometimes you feel like the voice is working. The voice is not working today. What do you do? I mean, if I commit, I commit. I'm not a person that's going to cancel. If I feel like my flex today is high, my vocal cords are burned, I have to learn to overcome it, because I sometimes the mind, when you train your mind to be positive, anything is possible. It might not be your best, but you know what? It's possible. You will do it. You'll go over it. Some people might laugh at you. Some people, but you know, nobody knows what we are going through a lot, and we always have. Sorry.
No. But if you think back to Piet Retief when you grew up there, would you ever have imagined this life that you had?
Honestly, no.
Really?
I sometimes, you know, all the time, as I say, it's a little bit emotional when I talk about it, because I sit down all the time with my fiance and my friend Sia Makongo. When we gather a lot together, because we're very close. We always, whenever we gather, Christmas, either Christmas or holiday, we always get together, but there's always that one day when we stand together and say, let's just pray and say thank you to God for everything He's done for us. I think my friends, the circle, not my friends, let me say the circle that I surrounded myself with, they are people who are very successful. They are not jealous in any kind of shape or form. We always empower each other. That as a whole helped me to also achieve, because I remember I used to say, I always say, if you try to do things to prove a point to other people, you're making a mistake, because that is your fault, basically. That is your biggest aim. Always prove yourself wrong. And let's not fool ourselves and say there's no competition. There is competition. You should compete. Because if you don't compete, then there's nothing. But compete in a healthy way. Learn the best. I always learn from people. I always do. I always taught myself, if you don't learn, from the next person, that means there's no, why are you doing it?
Yeah, then there's no growth as well.
No, you grow by learning. And let me tell you, I've done so many mistakes in my life. Now, in nowadays, we're growing older, the voice changes and you get different changes. You will find that I don't sound the way that I used to sound when I was younger. It's different. I have to change. I have to do this. It is constantly a hard, frustrating journey, to be honest. But we all put this fairy tale in it. But there's no fairy tale. There's always struggle. Every singer goes through difficulties with the voice when they grow older, of course. But then how do you overcome it? You need to be positive and do something about it. And I also help myself by listening to, I surround myself with the best. I always have around the people who are doing well. And I don't listen to what they do. I listen what they do and how can I make better for me. No. In a way, doing the competition, of course, I have to say how he sings that. How does it get to that? What is it that why can't I do it like that? And then that's when you have to find your way, how to do it. Even if it's not going to be like that, but it is my best, and that satisfies me. And I had to learn that. It took me a long time to learn that I cannot put myself in the same box with anybody else, because we have different lives. We have bodies. We have different challenges in life. Because my life might look easy for somebody outside when they see my pictures on Instagram and Facebook and think, oh, he's living a great life. That's not true. You know what? I work day and night for everything I achieve. Day and night. It's constantly work. I have few moments where maybe a week where I feel like, oh, I work so hard in this production, I need to rest. Then I can pause for 5 minutes, but the rest is always work.
But Sunnyboy, this is why I think it's so important that artists like you tell the story, and that's what I find so interesting, because it looks like you say, it looks on Instagram and Facebook and on stage, it looks so easy, and it looks so as if, oh, here he is now. But you had to work hard. You had to take that opportunity that day and got on the bus. And as you say, not even with finances, not even with a family that supported you financially, you were the breadwinner at that time. But you pushed through, and you had the jobs in Cape Town. And there's nothing to say, oh, he was just lucky he got that. But you worked for it. You took the chance. You listened to Pretty. Okay, there's, as you say, all the people that came on your way. But I'm also fascinated by, because I know South Africa, and I also know that the schools don't. And I'm so talking to everybody about this, that the schools don't provide enough music and art education. And I think, so you also come from the countryside, because Piet Retief is countryside. I also grew up in the countryside. And I know that, we don't have the theaters you know, the world there, it's nothing compared to what people experience here in Europe. And and you know, you had the teachers and you had the choir, but there must be so many more children just like you with the talent that could be, you know, not just singers, but you know, look in South Africa, how many children could possibly be ballet dancers or could be, you know, artists painting or sculpting or composing, you know, but the possibilities are just not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true that you say the right things. I started playing piano at my university level. Can you imagine? First year university, I was learning to what C, what D, E, F. I had no idea. But I think in general, this made so many singers in South Africa work harder. Even though it would be nice to start at an early age, because looking at it now, and I see so many of my colleagues, I mean, it's the same thing with languages. In South Africa, we have so many languages already, and almost all South Africans are very multilingual, you know. And can you just imagine if I start speaking or learning Italian or German or French from secondary or primary school, from school as a kid, and having the piano? Can you just imagine how many of us can become something because honestly, I play, but I don't play very well. I need to have a pianist and I have to budget all the time. Wherever I go and sing, I have to have somebody there that I trust to guide me, to tell me if I'm doing wrong, because, you know, it's very important nowadays to have good musicians around you, because music is evolving. Singing is evolving. Things have changed. It's no longer the same as I was when I started, as it was when I started. And so it's just a lot. Can you imagine if I could play? If I left playing when I was a kid, I'm just like thinking maybe I'll be playing everything I need to play. But now when I study music, I need time. Of course, I learn fast. This is, you give me 2 weeks, I will sing everything. I will sing everything. I do push myself. It's the workload would be less if I could do everything myself. But you know what? I'm thankful for that. I did not get. I'm also thankful. I'll also take it as a positive thing that I didn't have those opportunities. Because can you also think that if I had all these things on the silver platter, would I be working hard as I'm working now? No, honestly, no. Because then, I know how to do that. But I'm also a person who doesn't. I'm never satisfied by anything I do, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I also don't like, no, I don't want to say I hate because that's a big word. I also don't hold amazing this. I do not like it. It's not like, because you can say it to somebody else. Don't say it in my face, because I always feel like I could do better. I am never satisfied. There are so many things. Of course, sometimes I pat myself and say, well done, Sunnyboy, you did well today. You did well. If I'm doing it, but let me tell you, it is so tough to work with people who don't know who you are. I mean, I look at the ballet. I mean, we talked before about the ballet. You also mentioned the ballet. How those human beings I salute, they work day and night. I have a time to sleep in the weekend. If I feel like I don't want to do anything on Sunday, I can sleep. They have to exit. They have to work throughout. And can you just imagine then what it would be for singers if they work like ballet dancers? You get singers who work like, I'm one of them. I don't work like ballet dancers, like Nancy. But it's really tough for everybody. It's everybody.
But listen, so where were you during lockdown?
During lockdown, I was here. Okay, it started when I was in Dortmund, because I just moved in Hanover. Last year I was in Dortmund and I moved to Hanover, and I've been home, and all my gigs that I was hoping to do, I was all cancelled. First of all, the most important one was Carnegie Hall in America.
In America.
The Symphony No. 9 was cancelled. And I had with the CEO, the orchestra, the London orchestra. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had the Carmina Burana with them, and it was going to be CD, cancelled.
Oh no.
And I had in France.
Was this now cancelled, not postponed? This is just cancelled.
Cancelled. I had many different, I mean, look, I can only say I am so grateful and thankful I'm in Hanover. This theater really, they make it possible for their, I know they are going through a lot, the theater, but they keep us busy, which is so important, because so many of us and so many opera houses in Germany, really, we are very lucky. So many opera houses in Germany, they're keeping their singers working just to motivate us and say things will be fine. At least that can you just look at the situation? It's devastating. Devastating in London. It just really, it hurts. It hurts, even though I feel like I'm lucky. I don't have to complain, because I'm in this beautiful house. We're still working, even if we don't have it, but there's something happening every day. I attend a lot of stuff, I do things, I work on stuff that I want to work on. It's just sad that this corona destroyed everything.
And for the freelancers as well, they also struggle, I think, mentally and also financially. That's also the problem.
Yes, that I have experienced, because my fiance is a freelancer. Thank God she had some opera houses had to do the screening, live streaming.
Yeah.
Which is better than nothing. But my God, everything was lined up for her concert. And sometimes it's really devastating, and I feel sorry for her, but she's strong. And I say to her, listen, we are very blessed. We have what we have. At least you have 1 or 2, 3 things that can still happen. Rather than nothing. Imagine the other people who have nothing. Friends. We have friends who are like, I've been home, I want to quit singing now, I need to find a different job. And this really amazing. It's devastating. Devastating, really. And I feel sorry for all the opera houses, the intendants, the casting directors. They must be in a very odd position. I imagine it's frustrating for us, but what for them? They are trying by all means to make it work, but it's not on their hands. It's not in their hands, really. It is. I feel sorry for my colleagues, and I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Just let's stay strong, and pray for the best. And I think this time actually is the time where all artists in general should gather together and do something about it. And I'm very happy to see so many organizations online. I am myself with a very wonderful organization, the Atelier d'Excellence, that is helping all the young singers that are coming up, who are looking forward to do auditions and try studios and all that. And now everything is on standstill. And most of them are like, what's there for me? And I give so much credit to all the people who are trying to motivate and be creative and do something, master classes and do things. Really, we all need to be together, and it's not. It shouldn't be competition towards each other. It should be where we support each other regardless. It doesn't. It's a place for everybody.
That's true. Yeah. And also, I think in this time, you know, this motivation from one another, you know, because I think sometimes maybe you have a good day, but somebody else doesn't, and then and you know how that feels, and you know what they're going through. So this solidarity between the artists, I think, is very important.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not there for each other, of course, before we used to compete and you know, hate each other. But the pandemic has taught us that it doesn't matter how much what you have or who you are, but at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah.
End of the day, we all go through things.
Yeah.
And this is a reality. And we should learn that. I mean, the industry itself for artists in general, including everybody in one boat, we all have to fight every day to be as good as we can be, to stand on that stage, because there's so many of us, to be honest. And the ones that have the opportunity to be on stage, do you know that I have to work extra? You know, I was also talking to one of my colleagues. I was this past 2 weeks frustrated a little bit. I know it sounds strange that I'm saying this. Because of the pandemic, you don't get to sing what you want to sing.
Yeah.
I'm a person who likes to explore, and I love challenge. And I realized this is time for me to do something that I was hoping to do. For instance, now I'm doing the Britain, the 10 of the screw Britain, a very difficult piece. It's not something that I can just wake up and sing, like I'm doing the Rossini or all the stuff that I normally sing. I have to think, like, I have to look at things differently. It has taught me that now the work begins here. I have to work even harder. I just did Il Trionfo del Tempo, which is an oratorio by Handel, totally different from what I was seeing. But I'm also grateful that I have the chance to explore these roles, because not all of us want to sing the same repertoire. Because I'm running away, I just thinking, I said to myself, I have to find something that would allow me to, that would frustrate me and take me out of my zone, because it is what we're going through with this corona is hard enough. Why not do something that will make me not think too much of all the frustrations and all the worries, all the other stuff that are going wrong, and just focus on something that will really help me to just bring myself down and humble myself and say thank you for.
And also I also heard of people, you know, musicians who do this, you know, that they play repertoire that they normally wouldn't have played, or, you know, that they have just doing that. And I think in a way it gives you a sense of, or a little bit of freedom to do that, you know, because you have more time now, and you can experiment a little bit, you know, with that. But Sunnyboy, tell me something. Was there something you did in lockdown time, a hobby or something you started doing that you not normally do, like, I don't know, painting or baking or
oh
anything?
My God, why are you asking that question? That's a terrible question to ask. Me and my fiance, we started to, I have a lot of problems with my stomach, you know. There's certain things, you know, and I've been eating terrible. I'm a eater. So we started to cook differently, healthy, because I have a terrible reflex. Really, it's my voice burns all the time. I mean, it's that horrible. So this pandemic has taught me how to cook healthy.
Oh, wonderful.
Very healthy. We exercise a lot. We walk a lot. Now we explore. I mean, I never used to run like I love biking. Biking is my favorite. But now started again, because I used to run when I was in Cape Town. But now I'm started again, and I feel much better. I'm running. We cook, and yeah, we explore the city really with bikes.
That's
if it's not,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think I hear a lot of people started cooking and you know, making interesting recipes, and some
Yes,
people start baking and so on. And I
yeah,
spoke to somebody the other day who built a wall.
yeah. Oh my
So-
God. I was also thinking if singing doesn't work really, I said to my fiance we should consider opening a restaurant, because now really
Really?
we can
And now
cook.
you're making. No,
She
you.
bakes very well too. The carrot
Oh,
cake is the
really?
best. She
Oh,
does
is
the
it?
carrot cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sunnyboy, tell me, is there something now? This is just something that I nothing to do with lockdown. But what do you
Yeah.
miss the most about South Africa? The
Oh,
food. What
the
food?
food,
What food do
the
you miss the
weather.
most?
Oh,
But what food
it's,
particularly do you miss?
I miss the food. I miss the weather.
Yeah,
I miss people.
yeah,
I just miss the air, you know. I mean,
yeah,
Germany is beautiful, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
atmosphere, there's nothing like home. The atmosphere of being home,
yeah, yeah,
you know, the noise outside home.
yeah.
I miss everything, literally
Mm.
everything.
But do you know the chips fritos?
Yes, oh my
Yeah.
God. And
Do you know what?
knickknacks. Knickknacks.
That's the ones that I usually, when I go back to South Africa, I stock up on the fritos, the tomato one, the tomato
Oh my
flavor. Yeah,
God.
that's my favorite. Yeah.
And if you give me my biltong, South African biltong,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I miss, you know,
Do
I
you
miss
like
a
that?
lot.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my God, the
Yeah.
biltong is. I always
Yeah.
bring by a lot of packets, and when I'm visiting home, and my fiance would
Yeah.
be like, I cannot believe you like this meat, and I'm like, it's good. She's like, oh my God, just stop it. You can do it at home. I said, no, there's nothing. Nobody does it like they do it at home here in South
Yeah.
Africa. So, yeah.
And do you eat biscuit?
Sorry.
Do you eat biscuit?
Yes.
Rusks. Do you do?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
Have you taught your fiance to make them?
She does actually. She
He
did
does.
some yesterday.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
does. She did some yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
And some we do a lot actually.
Oh,
Muffins.
okay.
You know what I do? Malva pudding.
Oh, yes. Do you have a good
Uh,
recipe?
yes, we
Oh,
took
okay.
it. We took it from a friend at Woolworths.
Yeah.
You never get. You never. I mean, it's not. But she does it very well now. She knows when
Oh,
I'm
okay.
home. Malva pudding
Malva
must.
pudding. Yeah. And what do you eat with it? Do you eat custard with it? Or what do you eat
I
with it?
custard or ice cream.
Oh,
Either way,
yes. Ice cream is good. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
Malva pudding and ice cream, that's the best combination.
Especially when it's warm outside with ice cream, it's just the best.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Oh my God, this is a
That's it.
nice interview. Loved it.
About food.
So scared. I was just like, maybe I'm gonna say wrong things. I don't want to say too many things. And really, I didn't want to offend anybody. This
You
is not.
never, no, you don't offend. You didn't
Yeah.
offend anybody. You tell a very beautiful story, and this is why I mean, we talked before on the phone, but your story
Yeah.
just really inspired me, and I just think, this is, and especially, I think, coming from Piet Retief, of course, and thinking, here are you now, and you went through all that, and you were patient, and you persevered, and you overcame all these things, and I just think it's wonderful. I think it gives hope to so many people, and I wish really, I think I wish that more artists would talk about this, because I think it's very inspirational, and I think we understand then also that it just didn't happen for you. There was a big sacrifice, and for you to be this artist now, there had to be this path that you had to go through. And what I do admire from you a lot is your gratefulness, that you or your gratitude towards everybody that came in your way, on your way. So, but tell me, what is your wish for when this is all over?
My wish when is this over? I want to sing a role that I've been praying. I hope that it happens.
Yeah.
This is my only wish I want. I really, when this is over, I really want to continue singing, and I want to sing more oratorios. But yeah, I really want to sing more oratorios as well. I want to see the concert. I want to do more concert work, because I realized that I connected in a different level with in another level with this. Opera is always going to be my home base. It's I love acting. I love giving my soul, but oratory as well gives you. It's just soothing a little bit. Calms me down.
And the industry, and what do you think? What is your wish for the industry, and opera and the theaters? Do you think more people would be now eager to come and watch an opera, that more audiences would come than before?
Basically, yeah, that's my biggest wish. Actually, I wish that people could more come, even the young ones. I wish we can gain more people, and also I wish for the young singers who lost hope during this time to get opportunities. Because if you look at it, there is a danger of not everybody being accommodated because of the time that we've lost, and the opera houses has to serve those who were already there. I pray that everybody gets a chance at the end. I really do. And I will love to see all my young colleagues who inspire to be on stage to continue working until we get on stage. And for sure there will be I always believe that there's a chance for everybody. There's a place for everybody somewhere there. And there will be that one person who believes or trusts your capability and your hard work and give you a chance. And so it's all about perseverance. I really wish when it's over that everybody gets a chance, honestly.
But you are a wonderful example for that you that it took also a long time for you to achieve that, and many auditions that you didn't make, that you failed, that you couldn't get the job, but you still carried on and you waited. And also that teacher that said at the right time, that I think sometimes we think we want things to happen, and it is true that some things just have the right time for it to happen.
And it's not that it's a bad thing to dream big. Dreaming big is the only way to get where you want to be. Listen, I also when I was younger, I was driven to become a star and be this and be this. And then I realized when I think what humbled me is when I met that one person that I always, Maestro Zeda in Pesaro, I always wanted to work with him. When I met him, he said to me, you could be a star, you could be anything, but if you're not serving music, then it's just pointless. You're just a star with no meaning. He used to say, I don't like when people, they are praising that they are a star. You need to be a star just because you're serving music. And so I realized that this man is right. I don't need to be a superstar to be a good musician, to be a great musician. I just need to put my work, to put everything I have on my work and let people recognize it. Of course, not that I don't want to sing in the net and all this, love to want, but you know what? I think because I knew that I wasn't gonna achieve to sing anywhere else, and I did. Eventually, I did did because I kept working, work at the Dutch shop, I worked everywhere. Really, I sang almost all the opera houses in Germany, and I sang in America as well. A career is not only made by you singing at the Met or Covent Garden, or but there are so many opera houses, and there's so much going on. And I realized along the way that I don't care about being well known. I just want to have a good job. I want to have a job. I want to have a job, and thank God everything came my way. I have a job and I'm living a great life, more than I was expecting. Do I want more? Absolutely yes, but I don't want to be greedy, because this time I need to not be greedy. I enjoy to share, because once you start sharing, God gives you more. And I just hope that all artists have just learned to share. We have to learn to share, basically.
That's it's very true, and I think maybe this is also a time now that not just artists, but everybody realizes that because we're in the same situation, that reaching out and being there for each other is very important as well.
Because people, in South Africa, for instance, we've lost few singers who gave up and they took their lives. And
really,
and that is itself so sad. And I'm like, I wish I was there to make the person not do it. But you don't know what everybody goes through, really. We just need to be sensitive and be kind to one another, because it's another thing that we tend to lose, to be kind to one another. We need to be kind, and this time has forced us to be like that. There are people who are difficult by nature, but you know what? At the end of the day, they will see the light. I never give up on it. It's like everything that I do, I always take a risk. I always say I want to do what is not expected to me, what is not expected from me. I always have to also prove myself wrong, that, listen, this is possible. Just do it. It doesn't matter your color, where you're from, your background, it doesn't matter really. What is the commitment and hard work, and that's it.
Well, I want to now say that for every young artist that is ever in doubt, just always think of Sunnyboy, who took that 20-hour bus ride on the Greyhound from Piet Retief to Cape Town, and he had faith, and look what happened.
Look what happened. I hope there is somebody like who's looking up to me like that. I really am. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong if you.
Yes. Well, I'll remember that too, Sunnyboy. I'll remember that too. The next time I want to attempt something, I will remember this faith that you had. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful faith.
I want to thank you, Petra, again for just wanting to share the story with me.
You are just too inspirational.
Oh no, please.
Sunnyboy.
I try.
When you come to Vienna, please let me know.
I will do.
So that we get together and have a coffee and meet each other in person.
I hope so too. I would love that. Really, I would love that.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So have a lovely evening, and all the best to your fiance as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
You too.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me. Really, it's been a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you.
Ciao,
bye.
ciao.
Bye.